welcome to Lamestorming, a comedy game design podcast by two guys who know nothing about comedy nor game design. I'm Trevor Scott, and with me as always is Ben Slinger.
Hi, how's it going?
And Ben, we have yet another guest this week.
We do. Well, maybe we'll just let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, so my name's Rhys. I work over at Pinefire Studios down in Canberra, and yeah, we're making a game called Kieru. It's a black and white multiplayer ninja game where you utilize the environment's color and your own color to camouflage yourself from each other. Yeah, so you'll be either a black ninja or a white ninja, playing on your respective teams and using the environment's black and white aesthetic to stealth around from each other.
Yeah, we had a go at PAX. It was really awesome. Like, I love the...
Yeah, I got my ass kicked.
I just love the style and how well it works. Like, you really... It's not just camouflage. Like, you literally can't see the other
so
players
you hide
black
completely.
And white. Yeah. So it's really sort of strategic, and then when you kill someone, you get the big spurt of blood red. So.
Hang on, you killed someone? I didn't get to do that.
I did a bit better than you. I did have a couple of goes. I was at PAX for a little bit longer than you were, Trevor. So.
Yeah, I was there for the one day.
Yeah, so you're an artist on the project, is that right?
Yeah. So we sort of wear a lot of hats as indie developers. I'm an artist. We do a bit of like visual scripting stuff in Blueprints as well in Unreal Engine. So sort of whatever needs to be done.
And this is the first game for your studio?
Yep, so this is our first big project together. We've made little prototypes and stuff earlier on, but this is our first game that we've been working on.
Was this your first PAX this year?
No, so we went to PAX last year as well.
Yep, okay.
Showing off the game.
Oh, it must be good to... Like, I imagine you have at least a few people who sort of see it each year and see the progress on it.
Yeah, it was super great. So we came back this year. It's entirely new build of the game, and a completely new game engine even. And just people coming back and actually confirming that it's a lot better now than it was really nice. People come back and like, yeah, this is so much better than last year, and I enjoyed it last year. That was really nice.
That's awesome.
So what engine were you using beforehand?
So we originally started making the game in Unity, because that's what we knew at the time, and we were making Unity for an indiscriminate amount of time. We were making it for a long time in Unity, and there were just some roadblocks in the way with how Unity was at the time with networking. Trying to get the game networked. It was a bit rough at the time. I don't know how it is now, but back then it was kind of rough, so we decided to make the leap into Unreal Engine, because it's sort of designed around making first-person networked multiplayer games. So, let's give this a go, and yeah, so we moved everything across and basically started from scratch.
Oh, that would have been so annoying.
yeah, it was a big jump, and it was intimidating because none of us had ever really used Unreal Engine before either. So it was an experience, but it was a good one. It was definitely a learning experience, and now we're Unreal and loving it, so it's good.
Fantastic.
All right, well, shall we get started on some brainstorming? I think, as usual, we'll kick off with some click pitch. So for those who haven't listened before, this is where we take random words and jam them together and come up with game ideas based on that. Usually it's just two, but since there are three people, we'll each do a random word. 3, 2, 1. Click. Confection. Gleaming.
I got traveling.
Gleaming, traveling, confection. Okay, we can work with that. All right, well, let's figure out what sort of game, because it's about confectionery of some sort. And
yeah, it has to be.
Presumably you're selling it, perhaps, or making it.
You're traveling.
Where does the
traveling seller of confectionery? Travel the lands selling confectionery.
And the gleaming is all the gold that you're taking in?
Yeah, so... all the mad dough you're
Or it's just like the really shiny, like hard candy and stuff that you sell.
Okay.
You sell solely hard lollies, hard candy. Right, where do the game mechanics come from this?
Let's see. Well, it could always go down the route of like, it's a resource management game where you have to travel from city to city, managing your confectionery output to your income and deciding how much, almost like a commerce simulator. We've got to sell to the right candies to the right places at the right cost to get your maximum income.
So there'll be some interesting resources involved then, I imagine. I mean, sugar, obviously, is going to be a big one.
There's sugar in confectionery?
Wait, what do you mean there's sugar? This explains everything.
You guys just blew my mind just then.
Yeah, out of the water.
So you got to go around to all the sugar mines and send in your
sugar
mines.
The sugar mines. You mine it from the ground.
I don't know, what else goes into confectionery? You need something to make all the different...
Sugar and colours.
Yeah, colours, right?
So is there gelatin in this? And if so, do we have to go kill horses?
I guess we
Jesus
could make it kind of
Christ.
grim and really highlight the absurdity of the ingredients that go into what we put into our bodies every day.
Well, maybe it's a choice that you get to make. You can make like vegan. You can go for vegan confectionery.
Yeah, and really target that market.
Yeah, it sort of ups the difficulty a bit because you can't go and kill
That's hard mode.
horses for gelatin. Yeah, and I mean, often those colours and stuff come from bugs and stuff, right?
Yeah, so there's
little ants
red
and
and like
beetles.
In the olden
shellac
days,
Yeah,
comes from
so
crushed up beetles.
You got to get your little net out and catch the
Little
beetles.
net- catch
Get the
bugs
right
to
colours
crush
for
up.
the candy that you want.
crush them up.
This
jelly
town happens
beans.
to like red sticky candy, so you're going to be killing a lot of bugs and horses.
So what year are we sort of thinking? If it's a travelling salesman, can he be actually travelling by horse and buggy?
I was always imagining him like an old man with a mule. That's
Yeah.
just in my mind.
So if you're really low on gelatin, you just you
Sacrifice the mule.
sacrifice the mule, and then you'll be a bit slower after that, and you can carry less until you find a new one. But it might get you through those hard times.
But also, it may give you a better tasting candy, and therefore, in this place, you make lots more money, and therefore, you can buy another mule on the way out.
Well, if we're setting
Excellent.
this, if we're setting this kind of in somewhat like sort of medieval, I mean, you could bring
Oldie
in
times.
some sort of wizardry, sorcery as well, and that could be a whole other sort of a skill tree.
My
you know?
God, magic candy.
Yeah, that'll really make
What a
it
world.
gleam.
Love
'Cause,
potion
if
candy.
it's-
That would gleam.
If it's glowing with magical energy,
Yeah.
and this particular candy just makes everyone really horny and just sells super well.
Yeah.
It's
That
called
sounds great. And it's
Viagra.
little and blue.
It's little and blue, yeah.
So in this game, are we going to have like a mini game where there's like a match 3 component, like maybe to crush the candy?
Yeah, to
or
crush the
something like
candy.
God.
Or crush the Rhys,
Trevor,
or
that's
crush the
horrible.
beetles. You have to line up the red beetles to crush them.
that? Okay, yep, that works. So
Well,
a
actually, I
match
mean
3 game.
that could work. That could work really well for the main. Like, actually, for the main sort of mechanic of the game is for when you're making the candy. Yeah, it's a match 3 game. Like, there are some really cool mechanics out there for match 3 games where when you match particular things, it either gives you resources or like does an action or whatever.
And if you crush the wrong color bugs, then it changes the color profile of the candy, and
Yeah.
so maybe it's a strategic sort of Candy Crush game that you really don't want to be crushing the blue because that'll turn the red purple.
And no one wants purple lollies when they want red.
That's right. You want the primary colors. They're the big
Yeah.
sellers.
We only sell primary lollies here.
Oh, I like that one. That's good.
That was fun.
It's a good starting game. Let's click again. 3, 2, 1, click.
Who's going first? Who's going to say it?
Fullness.
Kissing.
Settle.
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 Okay.
Fullness. So, I mean, fullness could be lips. That'll go with kissing.
Yeah.
Like full
Kissing.
lips.
And you're settling for a partner. It's a dating
Yeah.
sim where you've got to settle. Because you can't find the
That's
perfect
your-
person, but you settle.
Yeah, so it's not like this. It's not this super romantic dating sim. It's all about compromise.
It's all about compromise.
Yeah, it's about matching up. Like, well, I'm really good at doing the dishes, and they're really good at drying. So, like, we don't really have any sexual chemistry, but
We don't like each other that
I'll
much.
settle for that.
yeah,
But we don't hate each other, and we have a few laughs. Settle.
yeah, that's right. We both really enjoy Gilmore Girls on Netflix, and that's enough for us. That just makes me happy.
Enough.
So could we take this that maybe you're playing an AI of like a really dodgy agency, so all you get is the basic profiles, and you've got to try and match the couples up, and
So you're playing as someone matching other people?
So you're playing.
Yeah, so
as
you could
the
have, like-
website.
you're playing as the website. And
Yeah.
It's like literally, okay, Cupid. Like, it's just okay.
And the people that you're matching are real people.
It's that's right. It's massively multiplayer. So, in fact, actually, we're not even making a game here. We're just
No,
making a dating
we're starting
service.
a business. Yes. But we're gamifying.
I don't know. I reckon you could have some game mechanics or something in there. Maybe it's a point-and-click adventure game, and you start off doing that, and then you follow like one of these couples, through their early relationships with other people that isn't quite matching, and you're really trying throughout the game.
Yeah,
trying
like they're
to match
super
things.
romantic, but they just burn out really quickly.
So you know that they'd match together, but you can't quite get them to match because of like conflicting things. And if you match them up through the right matches, they start to change. I don't know.
So what?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing the point and click, to be honest. But I
You're not seeing the point.
yeah,
but,
I do like the
okay.
idea of perhaps that you're matching other people. And actually, I was going to say, like, we just did a match 3, and maybe that's. But I think I was going to say do a match 3, but that's kind of a different dating sort of website.
Well, we could go with that. We could. Whatever you want, man. Whatever you're into.
Well, we're kind of playing a match 3 at the moment. We take 3 random words and match them together and
And they exploit.
see what comes of that.
No. There's some good stuff there. I like the idea actually of
Foundations
either
of it.
of the dating sim or I think it works better just actually for our initial idea. Like you are playing because we've never done a dating simulator before, but one of these conversation based things, and you've got your variety of 6 or 7 different suitors, and you have to talk to them all and figure out
who's good for who.
Yeah, but the twist is that you just want to find someone to. It's not even Netflix.
Watch
and
Gilmore
chill,
Girls.
You just want to Netflix.
You just want to watch Gilmore Girls with someone. Strictly Gilmore Girls.
Yeah, that's it. It's you've restricted your Netflix. It's the only thing that plays. You load up Netflix and just every little rectangle is Gilmore Girls.
Just Gilmore Girls.
Just another episode.
Cool. Well, I think we've wrung as much as we can out of that one.
Yeah, that was a stretch.
That was. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, click. Reverie.
Sparkler.
Freak.
Okay.
What was the first word?
Reverie. A state of being pleasantly lost in one's thoughts, a daydream.
Yeah, okay, so not like revelry, which is like...
No, not revelry.
Revelry actually works better because you could do a New Year's sort of theme.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but...
With Sparkler.
No, reverie.
Well, maybe let's try Reverie, and if we can't do anything, we'll just like bend the rules.
We'll just change it.
Revelry. Because whatever, it's our fucking show.
Daydreaming freak.
All right, a daydreaming freak with a sparkler. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it sounds real dangerous.
So maybe it's one of these sort of, it's like an action adventure or like a, like a third person sort of thing, but it's one of these games where there's sort of one world overlaid on top of the other and you can switch between them. Like he goes into his daydream mode.
In my mind was, all I can think about is, Keen's Dreams. Commander Keen.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
They're the worst one of them. But,
Yeah.
like, you're just a freak in your own dream world, but your main weapon's a sparkler.
Okay, that's not bad actually. Yeah, you're like trapped in your daydreams because
Yeah,
you have
escape.
some pretty severe mental health issues, obviously.
Severe. Crippling,
Yeah.
even.
Yeah.
So can you drag some of your friends into this and they're like, oh, God, the freaks dragged us in or something like this? And
It's a co-op multiplayer platformer where you're stuck in your friend's freaky daydreams.
So is it actually your friend's daydream? So there's some sort of like user generated content involved here where one person actually
God.
like, generates a level out of their daydreams and all the other people have to play it and just cringe.
I think you could have like, have you either of you played Firewatch?
Yes.
No, not yet. I've been
So
using.
at the start of Firewatch, there's some questions that go through at the start of the game. I'm thinking you could actually ask those questions at the very start of the game and use the answers that the player comes up with.
a Myers-Briggs
I love
quiz.
that.
And then you can bring some of those answers into your particular daydream level. So
Okay.
if you go to a friend's level, then you're going to be going to something that is totally twisted away from what your daydream is because it's based on a different profile.
That's cool.
I love that. That's awesome. You feel like this big quiz. Personality test.
Yeah, I sort of see it as the Alice in Wonderland sort of idea of taking a basic world and then just twisting it in certain ways.
Okay.
I love that. I think that's really cool.
It could be a base level and then that gets twisted.
Or just completely just generated from scratch.
Yeah, I mean, people are doing some pretty good things with randomly generated levels these days. As long as you bring in as long as you've got enough kind of raw material, I think you could do some pretty cool stuff.
I actually really like that. I think that's really cool.
So what sort of things can we picture in this daydream? I can picture something that I've always sort of had in my daydreams, which is the ability to fly.
Okay.
So how could you twist that in such a way that it would actually be a bad thing?
Does it have to... So, wait, is that where the freak bit comes in? It has to be...
Yeah, I think that's where the freak bit comes in, that maybe you're freaked out and it's kind of like a nightmare dangering.
Or maybe it's that it's all the things you're really into, and the game doesn't actually tell you that it's going to invite your friends in, and so you get freaked out when your friends find all your
So get dropped into it. Oh my god, it's like a prank game. You buy your friend, so they fill out this quiz and like try to play it when really you're like waiting on the sidelines, waiting to jump in on it when it gets generated.
Yeah, it like hooks into Facebook and shares a link to everyone in your friends list.
Gets your browser history.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Ben, you've actually got an Oedipus complex.
I'm really into sparklers because we have to bring sparklers.
Yeah, there's also sparklers. I don't know.
There's just it's just completely non sequitur. There are sparklers in every level.
They're really what tie it together. Makes it
ties the
consistent
game
across levels. There's always sparklers.
Yeah. It makes us feel like one solid world.
One
This is,
cohesive experience.
Sparkler World. Everyone knows about Sparkler World.
It's a pretty nonchalant name for the game as well. If you're gonna like buy that for a friend to try and prank them with this thing, it's just Sparkler World.
Yeah. Okay, play this great game,
What's
Sparkler
that?
World. Yeah, it's going to ask you for permission to your Facebook, but just ignore that.
Yeah, just ignore it. Who says it has to ask permission?
I was almost thinking that you could actually just call it Reverie.
That too.
You know, no one actually knows what it is. So.
Yeah. Yeah, they're going to think it's Revelry and think it's going to be it's a party game. And in a way it is.
Kind of, yeah.
You know, the game of all your wildest daydreams.
Well, because what's going to happen is someone on your friends list is going to play and go, "Oh, I'm really into that too," and then it does become Revelry.
Then it goes back to the dating simulator we came up with earlier.
Yeah,
they're tied together. They're sort of intrinsically intertwined there.
That often seems to happen. Funnily enough. We'll bring the match 3 in there somewhere there.
Once again, we keep on coming up with these ideas that I actually really want to play.
Yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing this.
That tends to happen. But hell, that's not what we're here for. So let's click again.
No, we're here for comedy.
Yeah.
Comedy
laughing.
with occasional game design.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Click.
Concussion.
No, we're not clicking. Not saying that.
Say it.
Say
Do
it.
Vagina.
Mature.
Vagina concussion. Oh shit.
That's so funny. Oh, shit.
I can't. I've got an image in my head. I can't say it's a game.
Okay, so
what do we? I'm lost here. What do we do with that?
I don't know.
I mean,
yeah, that's.
We can make a hentai game. I guess. I mean, it's going back into the dating sim stuff, right? Like,
again, it revolves back to that, and for the sick fantasies earlier on for the previous game.
I mean, you know those like Japanese games. Usually, you wake up with amnesia, so concussion is the beginning.
Concussion.
And
oh no.
No, I'm not. I think that's dangerous grounds. I don't know. Let's click again.
Yes, I think we will. 3, 2, 1, click. Oh, fuck off.
Clicking. Did you get penis?
Gynaecology.
Well, no, that we can make a game from.
That can be. Mine's disc.
Mine's excommunication. So, what did we get? Disc, excommunication, and gynaecology. So,
an excommunicated gynecologist with a 6 CD.
It's like you're trying to like pawn your mixtape off onto all your clients. I think this brings us back to that like awkward eye contact game, Trevor, that we talked about on a previous episode. You have to you're doing your job and you have to not look them in the eye while also trying to sell your CD to them.
Oh, I really can't believe you got gynaecology after
Holy
vagina.
shit.
What are the chances of that?
The random word generator is trying to tell us something.
Yeah.
Oh,
there aren't enough
trying to lead us down a
games
path that I'm not sure whether we can go down.
Yeah, I don't think we're mature enough as a podcast
to really tackle these very adult situations.
Yeah,
it's too adult.
Yeah,
these are adult things.
We're not adults. We're game developers and podcasters. We don't know anything about this stuff. All right.
No.
I think one more.
One more.
Click again.
3,
Give up.
2, 1.
All right.
Torturing.
Scaffolding.
Accommodate.
Okay. So torture, scaffold, and accommodate. So accommodate could be around accommodation. So like building something. Obviously,
and it's the scaffolding comes into building as well. And what you're building is like it's like one of those like tower building games where you have to put together like the bits and pieces to make good torture chambers for all your like freaky guests. Okay. So your guests have specific needs. So basically it's needs. Like a
this is a bondage room.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a building game for like an S&M club of some kind.
Yeah,
man, this episode.
So I don't know, like it's pretty good. Like, is it like from a like Fallout shelter sort of perspective?
So you have to.
You've got these rooms that you have to
dominatrices.
I think it's just dominatrixes. Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not sure.
But so you have to hire these people to like cater to your guests, and you've got to.
Yeah, you got
to
put the right equipment in the right rooms and
build your cool fetish tower.
Yeah, totally. Torture chambers and
There was an old like Monty Python sketch where they were talking about an old person's home, and the whole sketch was about him creating like this massive torture chamber, and that was just killing all the old people. I was thinking maybe you could have like an Incredible Machine type game where scaffolding is involved and all this sort of stuff. and
keep going.
You're dropping the old people into
I like where this is going. No, I'm thinking that you're still building some sort of like S&M thing, but it's not a traditional like place your rooms, hire your staff. It is an Incredible Machine type game where like your clients drop from the top and you have to like send them down. It's like, okay, this person's into whipping, so like you have to make sure that they go down the path that's just like a tunnel
leads to whipping
with a conveyor belt and whips that are like hooked up
awesome.
to. Yeah, and like this is the spanking section, and so you have to there's a whole helter skelter of leather and
that's
nipple,
awesome.
and nipple clamps.
Lots of them too.
So I'm just wondering, is there going to be like logic gates along the way?
Yeah, that's what I was
There
thinking.
must be, yeah,
so
because
that you
have to like sort out this conglomerate of patrons into their separate likes and dislikes, and then funnel them down into your specifically designed rooms or tunnels that cater to their specific interests.
That's it, and there's going to be like a best path through it for the specific combination.
For efficiency.
Yeah, for efficiency, to really efficiently meet all their kinks, all their kink needs.
And avoid their turn-offs.
Should it be like a logic puzzle where you've got to actually work out what the people are into? They don't necessarily just tell you right out. So maybe they do during the early levels, but later...
The early levels you don't know, but as you like put them through your little machine, you have to gauge the reactions.
You see the happiness meter for each of the people go, oh, this one's going up, he likes this, and send him down that path.
The good... If you're running a business like this, then you get to know your regulars, and that's how you get repeat patronage.
A repeat business is where the money is.
Yeah, totally. So it's like, hey, it's Fred again. I know that he's into spanking and ball gags, so send him down this path.
Send him to the Frank suite.
Yeah, it's ready for him. We have your regular room ready for you.
Oh, amazing.
Hey Frank, how can we accommodate you today?
Excellent.
Fucking
excellent. That's a good one.
I like that. That's really
that feels like a real game.
I actually, that idea of turning some sort of building game into a physics simulation.
Yeah, well,
it's kind of cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
And they're ragdolling. They're ragdolling.
Yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, so
like
actually
really
there could be
too.
some strategy around that, right? Like, depending on where they like to be spanked, you need to have some sort of... you have to have them rotated in the right direction.
Like put pegs in so they bounce off the pegs and like
exactly
point the right body parts at the slappy majigs.
Yeah. The butt's just getting redder and redder as they go down.
Okay, so already an idea for DLC for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're now in charge of torturing people in hell.
Okay,
and so therefore you're sending people down to places that are the complete opposite of what they like.
So it's flipped on its
because
head.
You're trying to torture them.
Okay, and so you get a whole new tile set. You get a whole new tile set of this time. It's actually spikes and I don't know other actual torture devices as opposed to.
And make sure you don't put them into anything they
Iron
actually
Maiden
enjoy.
And I know the rack.
Yeah, and actually,
Medieval
and that could be strategic as well because if you stretch them on the rack, then you can send them down thinner sections of your level
with tighter amounts of torture devices.
Yeah, exactly. You can use your space more efficiently.
You have a stretching rack at the start of each one just to make sure your efficiency is on point. The game's all about efficiency. That's the main thing.
You've got
and you know
limited
what the worst torture is? You send one of them down into the slow internet room and just have them on on a Skype call that they literally can't hear any words.
They just all pile into my house.
Yeah, they're trying to run a podcast, a game design / comedy podcast with bad internet.
Yeah, it's hellish.
We'll do one more.
All right, let's get
just before the break.
All right.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Click. Cereal.
Totem.
Garbled.
So this is cereal as in the breakfast cereal.
Oh, okay. So Totem, Totem can sort of mean a variety of things, I guess. But I'm thinking that the cereal is trying to communicate in some way. Well, I guess I'll think of cereal, but you said cereal, but I started thinking of alphabet spaghetti.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, but I guess you could have cereal with letters.
Okay, so pasta
symbols.
and breakfast cereal are both made of grain, so therefore
close
it's
enough.
fine.
Say close
you can
enough.
go that way.
So anyway, your food. Anyway, we'll just generalize. Yeah, we'll just generalize a bit that your food is trying to communicate with you, but it's garbled.
It's all garbled up.
Yeah, it could be symbols like totem. Totem is sort of symbol. It's a symbol.
Okay, so mini game.
Yeah, go on.
Mini game. Word searches in your alphabet soup.
Maybe it's the totem trying to communicate with you, and it's a magical ancient totem, but it can only communicate through food.
Communicate you through your cereal.
Through your cereal or your alphabet
/
soup cereal.
Yeah, alphabet soup.
It can only communicate through food suspended in liquid food.
There you go.
It's very specifically cursed totem.
Okay, so I like where this is going.
We have a theme.
Where's the gameplay mechanics?
Yeah. So defined word things it could just be a theme wrapped around a average, word search game. It's just that's it. But it has this really deep backstory, so it's really enthralling.
Yeah, so every
it's
level
like
you
those
just
really cheap games that you can get. Those ones like the Big Fish games. They have the find the gumboots and all those sort of things. You've seen them before.
Yeah.
So it's like that, except it's just word searches. But as
in
you
between,
go through,
there's this amazing artwork with this really deep backstory and this magical totem communicating through you.
You have to move from find these food items to get new bits of information from your mystical cursed totem to be able to complete whatever the game is.
That's it.
And the game is
because you have to find the next dish that this totem is trying to communicate to.
Yeah.
You. So maybe it's actually an open world game.
An open world, and you have to search for all these food hotspots to find the food item that it's trying to communicate with. And
exactly.
Some sort of hint to that.
You smash the door open to a restaurant, and you're like, "Who's got the soup?
Who's got the alphabet soup?"
Well, it might not be, or it could be
here, sir.
It could be the guy spills his pasta and it writes a word it makes
on the wall,
spaghetti.
On the wall, yeah.
So you've got to look for food items to just hit and just try to make splat, so this totem has a chance to communicate with you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the only way it has any effect on your world is by subtly changing the way that food moves through space.
Like we said, very specifically cursed.
Who cursed this totem? It's got to be something food related. Someone spat in someone's soup once or something.
Got it.
Yeah.
The flying spaghetti monster.
So wait, the flying spaghetti one is cursed a man into being a totem. A man who did not believe hard enough.
Who thought that it was just a joke.
And now the only way he can communicate is through flying spaghetti.
I'm still not 100% sure where the game mechanics even come out of this, except that you're just going wherever you can find spaghetti and throwing it. But I like it anyway.
So,
it sounds like
so
fun.
in between everything, it's just like a GTA clone.
Yeah, it's an open world adventure game, but the overarching story is you're trying to save this totem because, I don't know, your mother or something. I don't know.
It was your great
It was
uncle.
your mother that got cursed into being this totem, and you just want to save her desperately.
You just want to find out what happened.
Yeah.
She disappeared suddenly.
It's a test from the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah,
to test your faith.
Test if you're a true pastafarian.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well,
Wow.
I think that's about time to head into the Eye of the Storm.
Let's go.
We're at Lamestorming on Twitter.
You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/lamestorming.
Email us podcast@lamestorming.com.
Search for us on iTunes, Lamestorming, 2 words, and rate us, review us, subscribe to us there for the latest episodes.
Check out our website, lamestorming.com.
We'd like to thank Kuridas for the opening and closing tracks, which is actually the same track now, I believe, of this podcast. Mount Defiance is that's called.
We'd also like to plug Zencastr for their recording capabilities. ZENCASTR. They're at zencastr.com. They've got a lovely little free tier that we use, and all we've got to do is plug it on our episode.
And also check out our other podcast, Two Sweary Dads, a podcast about parenting and other dadly pursuits at twoswearydads.com.
Now, Rhys.
Yes. So basically, you'll be able to find us on our website, pinefirestudios.com, where we post blogs every now and then with some cool art and some cool insights into game development and what we're up to. And you can also just find us on Facebook as well, Pinefire Studios, where we just post content sporadically and link to whenever we do a blog post. We're also on Twitter, at Pinefire Studios. We're there too. We post up occasionally there. So feel free to follow us on all that if you want updates on our game and general game development sort of insights.
Sweet.
Fantastic. So let's head back into some more click pitch.
Yeah.
Great.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Click.
Rehearsal.
Bawdy.
Generalize.
Trevor, have you selected like complexity sexual or something? Because did you say Bawdy, like Baudy?
Yes.
So Bawdy, rehearsal, and what was yours, Rhys?
Generalize.
Generralise.
Yes, that's a rough one.
Oh shit! I just found out what that actually meant. I didn't actually know what Bawdy meant.
Oh yeah.
Dealing with sexual matters in a comical way, humorously indecent.
Half this show so far.
WDY. I think I said BAUDY, but
No, BAWDY.
BAUDY would be Bawdy, like 2800 baud modem.
What are we doing here?
This is rather sexual today, this episode.
Yeah, it's been...
Sorry, Rhys,
it's been a ride.
for inviting you on this very sexually charged episode.
It's been good. Yeah.
So what were your other words?
Generralise. I'm not sure.
Yep.
And rehearsal. So Bawdy rehearsal, I can see, some sort of burlesque show.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's the rehearsal for a burlesque show. You could go in sort of an adventure game kind of, that's just the setting for it. Now, Generralise, though, unless we really twist it and turn it into like someone becomes a general.
The general.
They get generalized.
Burlesque. You have to become a burlesque general in the burlesque army.
Ah, so it's like army themed, or there's like an army themed section, or maybe it's that you're playing a character and you really want to bring in this like army themed part of the show, and everyone else is against it because they're pacifists. And then it's just a first person shooter.
Oh my god.
No, I don't know.
I didn't picture you going to a first-person shooter, but I like it. And what are you shooting at them if it's humorously indecent?
G-strings.
G-strings out of the G-string cannon.
Camouflage G-strings.
G-strings that you can't see.
There's not that much material there, But like the parts that it is covering, like you won't be able to tell they're there because you're just completely camouflaged.
Yeah. What is that? Generralise was a real curveball.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not sure there's much in the way of game mechanics about generalizing things.
Generalization, yeah.
Coding the game, you do a lot of generalization, but that's less interesting.
Remarkably less interesting.
I'm trying to come up with a way that you could actually have, your character goes into like a very complex situation and then he just generalizes it down to the most linear sort of scene.
Well, it could be just like the burlesque performance, but you've got to make it like sort of for everyone. You've not got to target anyone. You've got to like generalize it so it works for everybody in the audience.
So you can't like put anyone off. You got to make sure.
Yeah, but you have to put everyone on.
Yeah. Exactly, that's what burlesque shows are for. So you've got little meters above everyone's head, and if they start going into the red, you better switch it up. Bring out the camera.
If they start going to the red, they go into the torture room of the.
It's just trapdoor underneath them.
Wow.
I think that it kind of feels like that. This episode, like every game has a trapdoor into the previous game we talked about.
Yeah, it has been like that.
It's just
very, very
games
intertwined.
all the way down. Yeah. Click pictures all the way down. Is this a VR game then? Like you're in your Vive, you've got it strapped on, and you literally got to like shake your booty, and you got to attach.
You have to have a few extra Vive controllers to attach to all your jiggly bits.
All your jiggly bits. That's the name of the game.
If you got
jiggly bits,
jiggly bits.
Excellent.
If you don't have enough Vive controllers, you can strap a Wiimote or something to your feet. So
yeah, something like that.
Got rudimentary
tracking in it. Yep.
Motion control.
Yeah. Well, you're using, because I'm not 100% sure how the Vive works, but you could probably just get reflective stickers and put them all over your body and use some custom code to, I'm sure we could figure that out. That's up to the developers. Maybe. They'll work.
Could just make proprietary hardware. Make our own VR headset specifically for this game.
Yeah, why not? That'll make us a lot more money.
It's the Jiggle Party. That's not what I called it, but I think that's better.
Jiggly bits.
Jiggly bits. Well, Jiggle Party's the hardware. Jiggle Party is the hardware platform because you can use it for a few different things, mostly
different games,
burlesque related.
Burlesque or other sort of adult shows. There's different themes. There's burlesque. There's filthy strip club.
Totally, like cam.
There's Home Alone with hubby
or cam boy.
Torture chamber.
Home Alone with hubby. So I assume not Kevin McAllister, unless he's all grown up. He's your hubby.
That's actually where I went. I actually thought you said Home Alone with hugging, and I'm like,
with hugging.
With hugging. Generalized hugging.
Oh, that's getting a bit dangerous.
I'm just thinking, what the hell are the Wet Bandits doing in this?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
This game really, it went from a stretch to like sort of working out. I kind of like where it went.
Okay, I think we've got to move on.
Yeah. That
Let's
turned out
hope
okay.
that this doesn't go very sexual.
I mean, I don't think it cannot really at this point, but...
Yeah. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Click. Mothering.
Sunflower.
Handle.
Okay, so it's like a garden tending game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're mothering your sunflower.
You've got to look after your garden and water it all and get it all growing nice, and you've got to physically handle the plants to grow them in the way that you want to, but not similar to evergreen.
So the game, because you don't play as the tree, you play as the Mother Earth, Mother Nature, and all you grow is sunflowers. Was that the other word?
Yeah, sunflower. Yeah. I feel like we can do better. Yeah,
no, that was bad. That was bad.
I mean, I can see that being a game, but it's not very funny. So, are you trying to like genetically engineer sunflowers that have handles on them so they're easier to hold? So, like, it's literally just generation after generation. You have to grow them in a particular, like you selectively breed the ones that have grown in a particular way to be more and more like a handle built in.
It's just a simulation of like genetic engineering.
And so, in order to get that handle to be able to hold excessive weight, you've got to sort of build in, more of a hardness sort of part. Otherwise, it's sort of floppy handles.
There are multiple factors, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, sunflower. I mean, everything would be better with handles, right? Like, just make anything easier to hold. So I don't think we're too going too far here.
Well, I've got love handles, so.
Could it be used in a different way where it's like you're trying to handle something, as in like handle a situation? Like you can't just, you need to handle it. It's a real stressful game.
You just need to handle it. These are violent sunflowers.
Real violent.
Or they're just, well, actually, they're not violent. They're just like really manipulative.
Just misunderstood. The manipulative sunflowers.
So like you're mothering them. They're your children.
Yep.
And
they're sentient, but they're also little bastards.
Yeah, they're little fuckers. Yeah, they just like, they try to get away with everything. It's like, Mummy, I want to go out and see the sun and get some sun. And it's like, no, we're trying to eat dinner here. Eat your soil.
We're trying to consume our dinner from the ground here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a game. There's a game in there.
No, it's just yeah.
All right. Let's do another. We got to know when to quit.
And that's definitely about 3 minutes too late. Yeah. And 3, 2, 1, click.
Storehouse.
Lichen or Lichen?
Lichen.
Wait, Lichen, like Lichen.
En, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's like
mine's Con.
Like Con, the fruiterer. Con the fruiterer.
Con. C-O-N.
As in to con, presumably, since it's a verb. So you've got a storehouse of lichen.
You've got to con people into buying it. Because it's useless.
Nobody wants lichen.
But maybe you can sell it as the next great antibiotic.
Yeah.
So what was the third word? Sorry, other than like con and lichen?
Storehouse.
Storehouse, so yeah.
So you've got a lot of it. You've been collecting it for a long time.
You've got a lot of lichen.
And you're not really sure why you've got this much lichen, but...
Where's the game here, guys?
Because how do you make a game about conning people? Because, like, AI isn't really there yet.
No.
Okay, so it's an always online multiplayer game, and you're trying to con other people into...
So it's just this lichen economy that you find yourself...
Yeah, it's an economy just based sort of game.
And you just try to get as much lichen off your hands as you can. But unfortunately, the only thing people will pay you for it is different sorts of lichen.
Yeah, so you're trying to collect a specific kind of lichen. You have all these different kinds of lichen, but you want a specific one. And it's all about like swapping and trading your different lichens, trying to get the lichen you want without letting all the other players playing at the moment know which lichen you're trying to actually get. Because otherwise they'll be taking it so you can't win.
But you can also bluff which lichen you're giving them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
so this is a bluffing mechanic or something, so you can like con them into getting a different kind of lichen,
Yeah,
or
it's like, okay,
con them
so
into thinking that's the lichen you want to get.
He says he has 7 kilos of purple lichen, but if he actually has green lichen, then that's going to fuck me up because I've got pink lichen. And pink lichen doesn't
react well with.
Yeah, if you put pink lichen next to green lichen, then they both just...
They just really don't get along. They don't like each other very much.
Yeah, they don't liken each other. So
they ain't liking each other.
That's a poor pun again.
I got to get one into every episode.
That was great.
Yes.
I kind of like where that's going, where it's sort of this sort of game where you're trying to like fool each other or trying to like swap and trade these items and not trying to let people know what you're trying to get. But
yeah, it doesn't really matter what it is, so it might as well be lichen.
Yeah, lichen is just it's great. Lichen's really cool. You guys should research lichen
because I can almost 100% guarantee no one has made a game with the main currency being lichen before.
Yeah, definitely.
I could be.
You could be, but I don't think you are.
Maybe they're doing that. Maybe that's a future plan for Evergreen. I'm not sure.
Maybe we're still in their thunder.
Step on their toes.
So, what I'm picturing now is that instead of it being like a massive online world, maybe you're in like a smaller server and you got maybe 5 or 6 players on there, and you get a storehouse of lichen at the start.
Yep.
And the whole idea is
so it's like a virtual board game, and these lichen like cards. You get like a bunch of lichen cards at the start, and you're just swapping and trading those around.
There could almost be a geographical sort of part as well, like kind of like Pokemon Go, where there's certain types of lichen that are only available if you live in a certain area. Like we hook into your GPS, and particular strains of lichen will only show up in particular countries, and so you have to trade it. If you really want to collect them all, then you got to trade with the right people and build up the.
Maybe the different kinds of lichen are just like it's very much like just a board game that this isn't specifically about video games. Maybe it's a board game.
No, we can do board games, yeah.
Collecting these Lichen cards, you get all these Lichen cards, and they're all worth different points.
Yeah.
And you have them, and you've got to say, maybe you only get a certain amount of points for having a certain amount of each Lichen card. So you're trying to collect these Lichen cards, and at the end of the game, have the most points. But on your turn, you can trade these cards to each other. So someone's trying to get 4
So is it
blue
called
Lichen.
Lichen the Gathering?
Yes. Yes.
A
So you're just trying to collect these
rolling
Lichen cards
stone gathers no Lichen.
I don't
But
know.
I'm picturing that you've actually got to build your deck, kind of like you do in Magic the Gathering. You build your deck and you go up against other people, and it's like, oh my god, he just played pink Lichen against his green Lichen, and that disintegrates both of them.
Wait, are you fighting all these Lichen?
Sends him to the Shadow Realm.
Or are you training them? I guess both. I guess they could be combative as well.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like we've managed to go impressively far on
Yeah,
Lichen as
impressively
one of our
deep.
words. Like,
I'm liking it.
fuck. All right, that's the end. Next. We're ending it on that. End of episode. No, not end of episode. But let's do
It was actually funnier than yours, though, Ben.
Correct.
Well, that's all right. I like to, I like to
Okay,
give the
so
guest-
I'm going to
guest
change
the
my
funny
complexity because mine's been kind of weird today.
Yeah, they've been real,
So,
line. Yeah.
real out there.
Take it off horny.
okay, I'll take it off average and I'll go,
Let's all go obscure and see what happens.
Yeah, right.
okay.
This is
God.
not going to work.
No, it's not. It's going to be great.
3, 2, 1, click.
Unofficiousness.
Non-reformation.
Over mystify.
Okay, let's all look up those words. Well, I mean, I know what officious. Google says it's not even a word.
Yeah, over mystify doesn't come up as a word. It comes up as 2 words.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like unofficiousness. It's like, did you mean officiousness? All right.
Yeah, mine like tries to separate it. Did you mean over mystify? Not over mystify?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
that
think
didn't-
that really works. Let's
No, that didn't
all
work.
go very common.
Yeah, super
Very
common
common,
because
alright.
we're pretty common.
Ice.
Leg.
Author.
Author, ice, leg. So it's misery.
You're an author?
It's misery the game. That's what comes into my head. You're an author. It's snowy
With frozen
outside,
legs.
and your legs are busted.
Your legs are busted. You're trapped out in the cold.
Yeah, I mean, there really is that trope or that sort of common story idea of the author alone in the cabin,
Telling the story.
right?
Yeah,
Well, writing, or trying to write his novel, right? And it's snowing outside. It's icy.
And you have legs.
Most authors have legs. I
Or
mean,
this one has
discriminate
lost
here.
his leg.
This one's
and
lost his legs.
The
He's in a
game
wheelchair.
is him
Makes it
going
even
through all the
harder.
adventures before he loses his leg. And
Oh, so that's just a framing mechanism.
yeah, it's a
Like-
framing mechanism, and
Alright.
you're going through the game, and you're going, "Oh my god, his leg's in danger right here!" Oh no,
It's
he got
like,
out
when
of
is he
it,
going to
and-
lose? Yeah, when is he going to? You know that he's going to lose his leg. And like the tension comes from when is this leg going to fall off? What's going to happen?
But I'm just imagining, it's not actually going to be something to do with the gameplay. It's going to be like a medical reason that he had to lose it or something like that. Like, you've got bone cancer. It's just a cutscene.
It's right at the end. Yeah.
So it's like this author, he's lost his leg, and the whole premise of the story is the gameplay I'm imagining is like it's just a puzzle game, and each puzzle consists of the author in a zany situation that he's written. It's a written, obviously made up situation, and each situation, if you don't solve the puzzle right, results in him losing his leg. So he's lost his leg in a real way at some point in time, and these are all just like
Right,
cool
and this is
stories
him,
he's
like-
writing about it.
Yeah, this is him like working through that trauma.
Yeah. So like writing all these cool zany ways to lose your leg.
And at the end of the game, it turns out that he was on ice.
It's all
Yeah.
just an ice stream.
Or it could be just like the real way he loses his leg was like frostbite or something when he was off in the Alps writing a story about bears.
Bears, yeah, bears. I mean, of course, the bears. There's so many. I mean, there's just so many good bear stories. Like there's a market for that, obviously.
I can think of one, The Revenant.
I can think of Yogi Bear stealing picnic baskets. There you go.
That's a good
It's
story.
like it's a gritty reboot of Yogi Bear, and Boo Boo had to chew his leg off because they were stuck
Because we got in a bear trap.
in the ice.
Oh,
The first person you come across is an author, and you get to eat his leg.
eat him. Eat his leg. You got to keep him alive so you can only eat his legs.
Luckily, he has 17 of them to begin with.
Yeah, because he's an
We're
author.
playing on easy mode. Yeah, everyone knows authors are mutants. All of them.
One more before we go into our last
Segment.
3, 2, 1, click.
Building.
Char.
Lose.
I feel like this very comment is a bit too broad. But anyway, so Char, as in something is charred, like on fire.
Yeah,
Has been
I'm thinking the building's been on fire.
And you're going to lose the house.
And you lose it because it burned.
And then you lose the game.
There's no game mechanic. It's just you start with a
just
building,
lose.
you catch it on fire,
burns
you have
down.
no way of putting it out. And then
just
the
burns
building
down.
Burns down, and the game says,
You think you can do
lose.
stuff to stop it?
Yeah, you keep trying. Like, there's just these little... There are like glasses of water around and stuff, but like, it's not enough to do anything against.
So there are games that you can't win. Like, there's games that you eventually lose, and it's all about lasting as long as possible.
This would be a horrifying VR game. Like, literally, you start in this building and you're fully immersed.
In flame.
You don't start immersed in flame.
You have to try and, like, save the house, and if you don't, you lose.
Yeah, actually, that'd be kind of compelling.
That'd be
Because-
really, real stressful, too.
Yeah, like super stressful, but this sort of short form experience, and you are just trying to find everything. You know, there are blankets around. There's some water. There's maybe one fire extinguisher, but if you don't sort of get to it quick enough or find it quick enough, maybe it's like randomly hidden each time in a few different.
Yeah,
places.
so it's just a randomly generated sort of house, like building blocks of a house that are built out. And you're
Yeah.
put in a random room, and it just starts burning.
It just starts
and you've just got to get around trying to last as long as possible in this house. But no matter what, you always lose.
Oh, definitely. I don't think there's a win condition. You could maybe
it's just
escape.
lasting as
You
long
could
as
maybe
possible,
escape,
yeah.
but the building, you always lose the building.
Or maybe you lose your insurance or your deposit on the building or something like that.
Or maybe you burnt it down like by accident for a stupid mistake, and like you just lose all your friends and family.
Either way, you can lose something.
Something's getting
No,
lost.
but I like that idea of like a randomly generated house, and there are going to be different things around the house that help you in fighting off this fire as long as possible, or maybe like long enough for the fire department to, or you have to get to the phone, right? But you might be cut off from the phone, so you need to find another way around or put out enough of the.
There's so many
of the
things you
fire
could do
that
with
you can get
that.
through.
There's so many
But
things.
you find maybe a glass of something and you try throwing it on. It turns out, no, it was a glass of whiskey, and you just...
Why is it a glass of
know.
gasoline? Who lives here?
Whose house is this?
Where am I?
That's
Excellent.
funny.
That is.
Oh, I like that one. I think there's some.
No,
I think
that's
there's
actually
some
like
cool stuff
that'd be a
in
fun game to actually play.
Yeah, that's sort
I
of
like the VR aspect.
Yeah, well, that's like a real good use case for VR is those sort of short form little experiences, and if you can do some randomly generated stuff.
So I think that'd be great in VR, but it works not in VR too. You just play
Yeah,
the keyboard
that's
and mouse.
true.
It's the first person
That's
game,
true.
picking up and throwing things. But VR definitely makes it. I think makes it a lot better.
It
Maybe
makes
that
a
you
lot more
can-
fun when you're throwing
Yeah.
things.
Yeah, you're actually throwing
in
things
there.
and you're having to aim the fire extinguisher.
We have a heater set up that is bound to when you're looking at fire. Burn the heater in your face to really
you've got
immerse
a
you.
custom peripheral.
And it actually
gas.
just burns down your real house around you without you knowing.
You take the headset
This is
off your house and
immersive.
press it.
It's on fire.
And if you lose in the game, you lose in real life. So
Yeah.
don't lose.
That's what's missing from VR, just a
the
real
whole
sense of
losing your house
loss.
thing, the risk.
Yeah. The risk.
The risk to the real reality.
You just keep trying to take the headset off that's no longer there. No, I want to get out of the game. So, you lost.
Terrifying.
You lose.
You
Yeah,
lose.
that's really bad.
It's really scary.
All right, so I think we'll move on to our final segment.
Awesome.
We did this last week, or last episode with Jack, which is where we take the name of your game and we try to come up with alternate games that will fit that name that you could make.
Okay.
Yeah, if you just had the name, where would you take a game that isn't a cool black and white ninja first-person game?
So, yeah, the game name is Kieru, which actually means to disappear, go out, or be extinguished in Japanese.
Yes.
So we'll probably utilize that part of it.
I think so, yes.
We've just created the first game, which is Be Extinguished, and that's the fire that was in the previous episode.
So
We
make
call
that
it
previous
Extinguished.
game.
So we're done. We're done.
It's done. Segment over. Ship it.
Ship it, exactly.
Gotta be serious.
Yeah, I mean...
That's 2 times in a row that has actually happened.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, we sort of did that last time. Well, I mean, we could take some of that. Like, we could take the extinguish bit, because obviously you think extinguish, you generally think flame.
Yeah.
But maybe we also take the vanish bit, and maybe it's like a stealth firefighting game. So
there suddenly put fires out.
Yeah, there are somehow stealth mechanics to this, and so you can't get in your fire engine and turn the siren on and come running because
the fire will escape because it knows you're coming.
Yeah, it's sentient fire. Exactly. It's got really good hearing.
It could be similar, like say like a thief style game. Where it's like a stealth game. But just the enemies are like candles. Like weird candle guys. So the way you're killing them, the way you're getting rid of them is to extinguish them, to put them out.
Oh my god. That's awesome. Like, and their health meter is just like how like high their flame is at any point.
Yeah. So
Nice.
different parts of the map as well. Like if it's a windy place, they're going to have generally lower health overall because it's windy and they're slightly flickering. Or maybe you can put them out with wind by setting up sort of like traps like that. Like similar like to a Dishonored style trap sort of system where you like...
That's it, or just like cutting off the oxygen to a room.
Cutting, yes.
That's the easy mode.
I mean, I guess that would work in most games.
Yeah. Yeah, well, yeah. Most things breathe.
Yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that next time I play Doom. Just like hit the switch to cut the oxygen off the room. All the demons are dead. No, I like.
Do demons breathe?
I love the idea of the candles as enemies and having to fight it in ways that you would fight fire. So
ways to extinguish fire.
Water, lack of oxygen, or wind, or whatever.
There are all sorts of things, really. Yeah,
Interesting. Waiting long enough that they just burn down and run out of fuel.
Yeah, that they just run out of fuel. You minimize the game. You set your clock on your computer forward a few hours.
Yep.
And you just win.
And you win. It's the opposite of the other game.
Yeah, you always
when
end up
the fire
winning,
burns down, you've won.
You've won.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's the companion game to the last game.
So maybe it's a multiplayer shooter.
Yeah. Okay.
But one team, kind of like in the fact that, you got the black versus white. But in this one, you got one team who can see in the dark and one team that can only see in the light. And so one team's going around trying to light candles. And the other team's trying to extinguish the candles so they can sort of see.
That's kind of cool, actually.
Kind of nifty.
Because again, you could sort of bring in some of those similar mechanics where you have things that like trigger, a gust of wind through a hallway or whatever that blows out all the lit candles in that room, and then you rush in and you can take them out.
But the other team's got a flamethrower and they can just
light them again
and light it all back up.
Well, they'd have to have some sort of somewhat powerful moves to be able to light.
It'd be like an asynchronous sort of multiplayer where the team that thrives in the dark would be utilizing environmental mechanics to sort of do this stuff, while the team in the light has direct sort of abilities where they can like light fires or actually more directly affect these things.
That's kind of cool.
So it's sort of a twist on the existing game, but
it's sort of just like a
in a sense, but I mean,
what's already there.
It would change the mechanics a lot. Obviously, it's still that sort of multiplayer where around vision and such. Who can see who. But, I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, nifty. Interesting.
So I was trying to think of other ideas and where you could take, to vanish, go out, or be extinguished. But then I accidentally said vanish wrong and I said varnish. So I was thinking you could actually have like a wood sort of game, and you can turn the wood into a shape, and then at the end you've got to varnish the wood so that it keeps and doesn't dry out and go all weird. So maybe there's a game mechanic in there somewhere.
It's just a woodworking sim where you just get a block of wood and you shape it and then you varnish it.
Well, maybe it's around reflectivity. Like if you varnished it well enough, you can see the reflection of something.
Yep. Yeah. Sounds good.
Just by the way, that game would be called Wanisu Anuru. To varnish.
To varnish. To varnish.
So it's a very different game.
Any other ideas for?
I don't know.
games.
I still like my idea of the stealth firefighter because I'm just thinking you having to drag this hose around and make sure people don't trip over it and find you and follow you. Like, I just feel like there's some good mechanics there.
You're a firefighter that's just somehow broken into the very pits of hell.
Yeah.
And you were trying to just
man,
make hell freeze over.
You're just trying to put out all the fires in hell and like destroy it forever and make your way to the devil. And by the time you get to the devil, you've just got these fucking like awesome firefighting powers that you've gained through killing demons
through your firefighting exploits.
I know, but now you can just summon water elementals and things. Like it's less stealthy by the end.
Less stealthy by the end, but
that you just
I actually like the sound of that. That's cool too.
Badass.
So remember how we talked a little while ago, Ben, about the Force Unleashed and how as you go on and you get more powerful, and the enemies seem to come up with ways of defeating all your awesome powers. Should we literally go with that same idea that we talked about during that episode, where literally you just get more fire that you gotta fight, but you've got like these amazing powers.
Yeah, totally. Like,
and so it's not
halfway through at the beginning of the game, you've literally just found your way in hell. You're a firefighter. You're a rookie firefighter. You've got a hose. Somehow, for some reason, there are like fire hydrants in hell. I don't know. You have to find a water source somewhere.
It's just you've got the hose. It comes from the surface world, right? So you fall into a sinkhole, into the very pits of hell.
Oh, so you're just walking like it's this third person game. You're just walking around, and the hose is just always like going straight up, like it's just coming straight down from out of screen above,
wherever that comes from up there.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you got to be careful of kinks in the hose and those sort of things, or
yeah, you can't wrap the hose around anything, otherwise you're stuck.
No, that's it. You can't wrap the hose. Yeah, like there are going to be some real challenges there. You can't like go around a pillar to try to get away from a demon who's going to see you because you're going to be
unless you run back around the other way enough to unwind it.
Backtrack afterwards. But yeah, you're like spraying these fiery demons down. But by the time you're at mid game, you've leveled up your hose somehow. You've got all these like water powers, and you're just like taking out tens or hundreds of demons at once, but there are tons of them.
There's just so many more.
You're having to, fire in the right direction, but you're able to take them out a lot better. Because you're going to need to be powerful to fight the devil. I mean, come on.
To fight Satan himself.
None of this. Oh, we're going to nerf your powers just because you've leveled up. It's just going to be more and more shit thrown at you.
Yeah. Yeah, by the time you get there, you're just this hulking water beast.
You're no longer a rookie firefighter. You're something entirely different.
No, that's it. You're all like charred.
An experienced firefighter.
That's it. I've put out fires. At least 3.
Once you make it back to the surface, they give you a cool firefighter's hat saying how experienced you are. And that's how it closes.
It just says, like, I killed the devil, but it's just really little. And it's just a regular fire hat otherwise. You've earned your fire hat.
Killed Satan.
It's actually what everybody has to go through to become a firefighter.
It's just a standard trial, yeah.
Yeah, it's just...
So what, you finish it, and the captain goes, no one cares.
I think it was more like one of those situations where you like tell the rookie trader to get the left-handed screwdriver or something. He's like, yeah, go put out Satan. And
go put out Satan, and he does.
Put out Satan.
Like you get back and nobody believes you.
You get back.
My God, you've been gone for hours. You actually believed us, but I put out.
But I did it.
Extinguished Satan.
It was all smoke and mirrors, literally. See?
Nobody notices that there's now no longer evil in the world. They just like laughing.
Excellent.
Okay, I think that about does it for this week.
I think that's a good,
fantastic
idea to end on. Yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on, Rhys. That was.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's been great.
Absolutely. So if you want to check out the development of Kieru, go check out Pinefire Studios and
just find us on Facebook, our website.
Do you have a release date of any sort, or are you not?
Mid next year we're targeting, but we're not 100% confirmed like it's going to release mid next year.
Don't send that
around then. Next year sometime is the plan.
Awesome. Well, good luck on that. Continued development of the game.
Okay. So Rhys, should we develop any of these games?
Maybe a couple of them.
Let's do it. Oh man, nobody's ever said that before. I didn't realize we could actually make these games.
Fresh and new.